So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends. Today we are going to discuss the interview questions for MCSA, that is Microsoft Certified Solutions Associate. That is important exam, right? And you might get the questions for MCSA in the interviews too. So before we can start this video, if you want free PDF for these interview questions, you require to subscribe the channel, click on bell icon and send me mail on complexsql@gmail.com, which you can see in the screen. Let's get started. I'm closing the video and start with the interview questions. First, what is Active Directory? How does it work? Active Directory is important concept of Microsoft. Active Directory, this is important question for the interviews. Answer for the same. Active Directory is the directory service developed by Microsoft and stores the information about network resources and enables the administration to manage and organize these resources. It uses the hierarchical structure, utilizes lightweight directory access protocol. You require to tell the protocol LDAP, lightweight directory access protocol, for querying and modifying the directory data. For example, if you are working in the organization, Active Directory stores all the user accounts. You might see the Active Directory is storing user accounts, computers, groups, and network resources. It facilitates the centralized authentication, authorization, and management of these resources. Next interview question, explain the difference between local user account and domain user account. This is also important interview question. A local user account is created and managed locally on the single computer, while domain user account is created and managed centrally within the Active Directory domain. So if you are storing your user details in the Active Directory, that is domain user account. Okay, allowing users to access the resources across multiple computers within the domain. Example for the same, in small business, only few computers we are using, so local account may be good over there. In larger organization, multiple computers, server structure is there, so we require to use the domain user account over there. Next is, what is group policy? Next question, what is group policy? How it is used in Windows environment? Answer for the same. Group policy is the feature of Windows operating system that allows the administrator to manage and enforce the security settings, software deployments, and configurations for the users and computers within Active Directory environment. In AD environment, we require to manage all those things. So we are using this concept. Example for the same, group policy can be used to enforce password policies, restrict the access to certain applications, deploy software updates, and configure the network settings across all the computers in the domain. Let's move to next question. What is DHCP and how does it used in Windows Server? So this is for Windows Server. DHCP stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It is a network protocol that automatically assigns IP addresses and other network configuration, setting up the device on the network. In Windows Server, DHCP server role can install and configure manage IP address allocation dynamically. Example, when computer connects to the network, it sends the DHCP request. DHCP server responds with an available IP addresses, subnet mask, default gateway, and DNS server addresses, allowing the computer to communicate on the network. Next is, explain the purpose of DNS, domain name systems, in the Windows Server environment. DNS, everyone knows. DNS stands for domain name services. Example, www.example.com into IP address example 192.168.1.1 and vice versa, allowing users to access the resources on the internet within a local network using human readable names. So www.complexsql.com, that is DNS, right? Example for the same, when user enters the website address in web browser, DNS resolves the domain name to corresponding IP addresses, enabling browser to connect to the web server hosting the website. Okay, there is a host and web server. You require to, if you want to open the site, you require to connect with that. So for that, we are using domain name servers, domain name system. Next interview question, what is WSUS? That is Windows Server Update Services and why it is used. So WSUS is the Microsoft tool used by administrators to manage, distribute updates and patches for the Windows operating systems and other Microsoft products within organizational network. Why it is important? If any patch works, if you see there are patches are going to install and your system is restarting many times, that things will be managed by Windows Server Update Services. Okay. With WSUS, administrator can approve, decline, schedule updates as well as the monitor update status and compliance across all the computers in the network, ensuring security and stability. Next interview question, explain the concept of RAID and its different levels. Everyone knows this. RAID stands for Redundant Array of Independent Disk. It is a data storage virtualization technology that combines multiple physical disks into one or more logical units for improved performance, reduced redundancy, both. Common RAID levels include RAID 0 to RAID 10. Example for the same, RAID 1, that is mirroring, duplicates the data across two or more disks for redundancy and ensuring data integrity and availability if one disk fails. That's why we are using RAID system. Okay. Think physically. If one physical system fails, other is there. Next question, what is remote desktop services, RDS? How it is used in Windows Server? RDS is very important protocol, right? A very important service. Remote desktop services allows user to access the applications and desktops hosted on the remote server over the network connection. It enables remote access and virtualization uh, of desktop environments. To resolve the issues, we are using this. In business environment, RDS can be used to provide the employees with access to centralized applications and desktops for remote locations, facilitating the remote work and collaboration. That is important. Next interview question, explain the difference between full backup and incremental backup. This is also simple but important concept. A full backup copies all selected data and files in backup destination, while incremental backup copies only the data which has changed. Simple. Only the data which has changed. Full backup, larger, and incremental backup, always small in size. Example for the same, in backup strategy, performing full backup weekly and incremental backup daily ensures the data is backed up regularly while minimizing the backup storage space and time. Got it? Next is, what is Hyper-V and how does it facilitate the virtualization in the Windows Server? Hyper-V concept. Hyper-V is Microsoft visualization platform that allows administrator to create, manage virtual machines on Windows Server. It provides a scalable and cost-effective solution for running multiple operating systems and applications on single physical server. Example for the same, with Hyper-V, organization can consolidate multiple physical server into smaller number of physical hosts, reducing the hardware and maintenance cost and improving the resource utilization. Okay. Next interview question, how do you troubleshoot a Windows server that is experiencing a performance issue? This is important. So troubleshooting the performance issue on the Windows server involves analyzing resource utilization. First, you require to analyze resource utilization. Then identify block bottlenecks, and third, optimizing system configuration. Tools like Performance Monitor, Task Manager, and Resource Monitors can help you to diagnose the CPU, memory, disk, and network performance. You can see all the data. You can check which resources are taking, which applications are taking more resources. You can close that applications. Okay. If server is experiencing slow performance or response time, I would use the Performance Monitor to monitor the CPU and memory uses. Task Manager to identify the resource intensive processes, and Resource Monitor to analyze the disk and network connectivity to pinpoint the cause of performance bottleneck. Next is, what is purpose of remote desktop gateway, RD gateway, and how does it enhance remote access security? RD gateway provides a secure remote access to internal network resources, internet, by encapsulating remote desktop protocol traffic within HTTPS packets. ensuring the encryption and authentication for remote connections. For example, in corporate environment, RD gateway can deployed to allow employees to access their work computers securely from the home or while traveling, and protecting the sensitive data from interception or unauthorized access. For security, this is very important. Next interview question, explain the concept of failover clustering in the Windows server. This is also important concept. Failover clustering allows multiple servers or nodes to work together to provide high availability and fault tolerance for critical services and applications. If one node fails, another node automatically takes over to ensure the continuous operation. It ensures the continuous operation. Okay. Example for the same. In failover cluster configuration, multiple virtual machines running on the different physical host are grouping together to provide redundancy of the services like file sharing, database hosting, web applications, and minimizing downtimes. Okay. For security purpose as well as to ensure the continuous operation, we are using that. Last but important question, what is remote access VPN, virtual private network, and how does it enable secure remote connectivity? So in every companies, most of the companies, 90% of companies using VPN. What is that? Remote access VPN extends a private network across a public network like the internet, allowing remote user to securely access the private network's resources as if they were directed connected to the network. Example, with remote access VPN, employees can connect to the company network securely from the remote locations using encrypted tunnels, ensuring confidentiality and integrity of the data transmitted over the internet. So these are most important interview questions for Microsoft exam. So hope you like this video. If you like this video, if you have any suggestions, please comment into comment section. If you want all these interview questions in PDF format for free of cost, please subscribe the channel, click on bell icon, and mail me on complexsql@gmail.com. Hope you like this video, and thanks for staying till end for this video. Cheers.